So when it comes to Amapiano production, the most common plugin used is Purity. So today I'm going to be producing, actually not using Purity. If you're interested in watching me use Purity to make Amapiano, you can check out my other videos. But in this video, I want to make an Amapiano track without using Purity at all. I'm going to use other plugins and VSTs and just try and avoid Purity, because I want to show you guys that Amapiano is not just about you using Purity for you to get the right sound. It's about just you knowing how to put certain elements together to complete the sound. Obviously, I will still use log drum and Diablo TE as my bass line. But anyways, let's jump into it. Okay, so the first thing here, we're gonna drop our tempo to like maybe 110. Let's see how that sounds. All right, let's do maybe a 113. I think that's good enough. A little bit faster. Let's throw in a shaker there. I think the shaker will work. And create a new pattern, pattern 1. Put it there, and I'm gonna extend it to like 2 bars, so it's a little bit longer. I'm gonna select all here. Just go into song mode. So I'm gonna start with a rim. Go to pattern 1. I'm going to add another layer of another rim. And I'm going to add a stab right there in the beginning. But you see, with this stab, and what I usually do with most of my crashes, I don't like to add them in the channel rack. I like to just drop them in the arrangement. And then next we're gonna create a new pattern, which is pattern 2 here, and I'm gonna go to unsorted, and I'm gonna load up let's say I load up an expand 2, and I've got a pad here, and I'm gonna put that note there, which is a G. It's gonna transpose it down. Right, I think it went over here, so I'm just gonna bring it back. So I already have a GMS here, and with in GMS I'm using the patch, the classic detune. So there we go. I'm gonna add that note. And I'm gonna take this out here and put it in its own pattern. And I'm gonna put those on my playlist. Okay, so here's something I'm gonna do with my pad here. I'm gonna just add a little bit of attack. And let's see if we can add a chorus. And change this reverb. Let's see what other effect we have here. We've got delays, we've got a flanger, we've got a detune, we've got a phaser. I think we can add just that phaser effect. Like this phaser effect, turn it on and make sure we're sending it. Just to make it sound really nice and different. I think that sounds pretty cool. And we're gonna drop in a kick. And the kick, I'm gonna add it to the same channel with my rims. And I'm just gonna check the kick, make sure it's okay. So fill in each 4 steps. And we might need a crash here. That sounds like a nice crash, crash 5. And you know what? I'm gonna duplicate this here, and the crash will be on the second 4 bars, on the next 4 bars. And we're gonna add some congas. And maybe a clap. I think a clap would do nice. I think that one is really nice and sharp. Okay, I like how that sounds. So with this sound, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw it here on the channel rack, and I want this to be our transition into the next. Okay, I think that's a little bit too early. Let me bring it back and put it maybe there. Let's play that back. Okay, that's early, maybe there. So that's the thing when you use the channel rack with these effects, because I feel like it's easy. If I can delete this, I feel like it's easier if you just drag and drop it like this. Then you can just shift it to where you want it, like that. You see, then that's much easier. I like how that sounds as well, that ride there. I'm gonna fill in each 4 steps and just shift it 2 times. That sounds good. And then we're gonna move on to our Diablo TE. So you go to basses and you go down to Diablo TE, select that. Alright, so I need to find a nice melody that I can use this Diablo TE with. I think that sounds pretty cool. So I'm going to record that. I'm going to make sure that I'm only recording notes here and nothing else. So here we go. There you have it. So I'm going to add those and just quantize to make sure that my timing is correct. Okay, so I feel like I need some more reverb on this classic detune synth, And if I come here to the reverb section on the JMS, I can just raise some of that. And I can add a little bit more stereo. To make it nice and wide, and I'm gonna drop down the cutoff. Raise the resonance. Now we need a nice melody, so I'm gonna add in an expand 2. And here in expand, I'm gonna look for some woodwind sounds here in brass and woodwinds, and I'm gonna see what I can get. Okay, that's more. I think that's good enough. I'm gonna change my notes to higher notes like these ones. That sounds quality, yo. Alright, I'm gonna copy this over. Copy that over again. So as you can see here, we have some pre-delay hall and some lo-fi stereo delay here. I'm just gonna raise it a little bit more. And I feel like we need to make our pads a little bit thicker. So I feel like it's a little bit empty down there. I'm gonna load another expand 2. Expand has amazing pads, man. Like you have soft pads, bright pads, and huge pads. So I'm gonna come into the huge pads and see what I can pick. Right, let me drop this down. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Transpose that up. Make sure it's not too loud. It's kind of tinny though. Let me. Alright, let me drop that cut off of these sounds. I like that this pad moves. Alright, so I'm going to copy these and duplicate them and do that 2 times. So now I'm going to create my B section, and my B section doesn't have the Diablo TE, which is this one here. So I'm going to take it out and put it in its own pattern like that. So it only plays the first 16 bars, and the next 16 bars don't have this Diablo TE. So I'm just going to do that because that's our transition. Delete those. So transitions here. So you know what's coming now is the log drum. So let me drop in my log drum sound, which is my Fruity DX10. And I'm gonna drop in my log drum bass. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna loop this section here, this B section. I like this high note here. I'm gonna drop that one down. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna change my snap to none, and I want to make this shorter so I can give it a nice variation there. And I want to add a roll here. So I'm just going to select that. Switch my grid back to line. And you can go back and forth with your grid snaps using the back button on your keyboard. So that's what I'm doing here. If you notice here, I can switch it using this shortcut. So I'm going to select those. And I'm gonna add the chopper, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, get to the chopper. Alright, so I'm gonna add these clips here. And I'm gonna design my log drum to make it sound really nice and the way I want it to. layers, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna layer it with an E flute to give it some bottom end. Well, this is not a must. You don't have to really layer it if you don't want to. And I'm gonna take out these smaller notes. And after I do this, I'm gonna send this to a mixer track, and I'm just gonna EQ out some of the low end of the log drum. I'm not gonna take it out completely. I'm just gonna take out maybe -11 here and just roll off a little bit of that sub. And I'm gonna create a new pattern where I'm gonna add a snare. And I just throw in another snare here just to maybe let this one add a little bit of variation there. So if you want, with the snares, you can actually make them roll around a bit. I can change my timing here to a half step, and I can add more. Add more attack to the log drum so you guys can really hear it. And I can actually add some vocals there, some vocal chops. And I can add a fill right there. It's all about the transition, man. And if you want, with these pads, you can actually make them move and change if you want to Like I can maybe layer them, and I can just duplicate that one. Change my grid back to cell, and maybe I can raise this one. I'm gonna do the same with this bottom one here, just to make it more melodic and make it more interesting. And I can also add maybe a little bit more, another melody to move with this one. And let's see what I can add here. Maybe I can add another lead. No, that's too much. Okay, let me try something else. I think those leads are too much. Let's try a mallet. That sounds pretty good. Something nice and simple like that. Right, let's try another sound. Okay, that's kind of off key. Okay, that's too much reverb there. I think that sounds good enough, just to add a little bit of variation. Alright, maybe we can remove this second melody right there on the B section, and maybe it can only play in the beginning right there. And maybe what we can do is we can add maybe a sax over here. So that's the last thing that we'll add a sax right there. So I'm gonna go into not synth brass, but brass and woodwind. There's sax section here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this GMS patch, and switch my grid to half step. that sounds good enough. I think that sounds good enough. Now let's play back. Let's play the whole thing back. Maybe this sound can come in slowly with an automation right here. Like that. I think that sounds pretty cool, but I want to know what you think down below. If you guys like this style of Amapiano, I thought I'd challenge myself and make something without using Purity, because whenever you see a video about how to make Amapiano, it's always Purity the go-to plugin. But I just showed you that if you don't have Purity, you can actually make some good Amapiano. But I want to know what you guys think about Purity. Do you use it all the time, or it's not really that important to your Amapiano production? And remember guys, if you like this video, drop this video a like. If you want to watch my other Amapiano videos, you can go ahead and check them here on this channel. I have a lot of great content, and also subscribe if you're new here. But anyways, I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. I am X and I am out. Peace.